This is an Italian ham from Parma in Emilia-Reggiano. The prosciutto is cured bone-in back leg of the pigs. What you're looking for at a prosciutto when it is sliced is that it is evenly cured, meaning that it has a nice even color of pink through it, and the fat is pure white. The Italians, they're very, very proud of this product. They say there's only 4 ingredients that go into prosciutto di Parma. That is Italian pork, Italian sea salt, air, and thyme. The most classic pairing is prosciutto and melon. However, I like to serve it with whatever fruit that is in season at the time. Grab the prosciutto, very simply fold it over, drape it over your piece of fruit, drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil, because why not? And enjoy it. It's almost like the Italian peanut butter and jelly. You get this amazing melon or fruit flavor, and then you have this salty, fatty extra layer behind it. It just makes it unbelievable. Copa is one of the most sought after cuts on the entire pig for a charcuterie maker. This is the neck of the pig. It is the only cut on the entire hog that is naturally 30% fat. That is the magic fat to lean ratio that charcuterie makers use. Copa is usually dry cured, so it's relatively hard. It'd be very tricky to cut this with a knife. I have a slicer here. If you have a slicer at home, I'll show you how to do that, but at whatever store you buy it out, they will be able to slice it for you. To start off, you're going to want to make sure that you remove the casing from the outside. When you're getting this sliced at the deli, just ask them to slice it slightly thinner than a quarter. They'll understand. You could do the old classic, that. They'll get you. Ooh, that's what you're looking for. A nice full piece. It's holding together. It's not separating. That's kind of the perfect slice of Copa. I feel like I'm working back at the deli. Boom. Let's roll. When plating, I like to start in the middle. I take my first piece, probably at 12 o'clock there, and I fold it over. Then the second piece, right to the left of it, fold it over, and continue that all the way around, rotating the plate as you go. And then you do 2 or 3 more in the middle, and you have yourself the most classic traditional plate of Copa, right back to Italy. Copa is one of those products that I like to make a simple cheese fruit plate with. A Robiola cheese is from Piedmont. With a good bloomy rind cheese, the molds on the outside are to be consumed. Take a piece of the Copa, a piece of the cheese on top of it. You could either have some cherries on top like that, or some just a snack on the side. And then you take a piece of the honeycomb, kind of drizzle a little bit of the honey all over it. Life is good. Yeah, it honestly takes you away. This is spend, an hour with your friends, family, enjoying, eating, repeating, talking about how good honeycomb is. Think about cherries, Copa, repeat. Salami cotto translates into cooked salami, not cured salami, so that is why it is in the deli selections. This comes from the shoulder and fat back from the pig. I like to slice it thin. You're gonna wanna remove the casing. Make a little cut, then just rip it off. When you're looking at a salami cotto, you wanna see fat dispersed throughout it with good separation from the lean meat. On this one too, we're seeing big chunks of black pepper, which means you're gonna get a nice black pepper bites in the middle of it. This one, we slice a little bit thicker than a coin. And then, very simply, we lay them flat across the bottom. This is amazing by itself. It goes unbelievable on a pizza. It is an absolute essential ingredient on a grinder sandwich. But this is the way I like to serve it at my house with a salad on top. It's super easy. Grab really fresh, delicious arugula, spread it over the top of it. Castelfranco olives, crush the olives and the seed will pop right out. Sprinkle it around. And then, real easy with lemon on top. Drizzle with olive oil. And of course, crunchy salt over the top of it. Salami cotto is so herbaceous, has all the big black peppercorns, all the amazing flavors of herb. And then arugula has that really amazing peppery crunchiness to it. And then you get these little bursts of lemon in there. It's just a super simple salad. Some say the king of all sausages. It is one of the most difficult deli meats or even difficult cured meats to make consistent and perfect every single time. It is really, really tricky because you're making a full emulsification. An emulsification is when you take lean meat and you make it into a paste and then you fold in fat. It's essentially the same process I always say as making mayonnaise. It has sweet spices, cinnamon, cloves, a little bit of nutmeg. I speckle it with fatback, pistachios, and whole black peppercorns. To dice it, remove the casing. I like to do it in about 1/2 inch, nice little chunk. Try to slice it straight. Boy, that's beautiful. Then just cross cut it, and then just cut it into nice little squares. We're gonna slice a few too. This is a meat that you would like to slice a little bit on the thicker side because it has all these amazing textures in it. Little folds here and there. We'll take the diced mortadella, we'll place that right in the middle there. For this, I like to use an extra sharp Parmesan, and I like to use a potato peeler to get chunky slices, and then simply parsley leaves spread across the top, just for a little bit of parsley bright flavor. There you go. Between a bite of pistachios and a little bit of the Parmesan that has hard texture. It's so simple, but yet so flavorful, and it's kind of mind-boggling. Here we have Salami Etna. This product here has been made in Sicily underneath the volcano of Etna for centuries. In Sicily, they are very famous for their citrus, their pistachios, and their sea salt. And so if you take this product, it is everything you would find on the island of Sicily to make a beautiful, unique salami. Salami is leg meat of the pig or the ham and 100% of the fat back. What you see on the outside here is live active mold. Mold is super important in quality salamis because it gives it its flavor. So these are natural casings. They are double sewn casings, and it is also in a net. You're gonna remove the net, you're gonna see these mold spores come off of it. That is live mold. You want to slice these really thin because it is hard. Kind of droops over itself. That's about where I like my salami. I like to keep it very simple. I love the flavor of a dried or fresh fig when it has that beautiful sweet roundness but isn't too dominant in a flavor because the Salami Etna really is subtly seasoned. And then take a bite of the fig. Yeah, that's awesome. A good quality salami, it should instantly start melting, and then a bite of the fruity fig just kind of like cleans the palate up so you can return back to it and enjoy it. That was good. Here we have Saucy Sande. Like other salamis, this is made with pork leg and fatback. Saucy Sande is a French-style salami. It is one of my favorite salamis ever made because it's only seasoned with pork and sea salt and mold. They're so proud of their pigs in this region of France that they protected that if you make a salami from this region, you're not allowed to cover the flavor of the pork with any other spices. I use a knife, no need for a slicer on this. Cut it at a bias, roughly the thickness of a quarter. This mold has a little bit more of a yellow. Throughout the year, you'll see variation in the molds. That is kind of the beauty of live living salami made with active molds. One of my favorite ways to use this sausage is to have it side by side with the bloomy rind cheese. You use the tip of your knife and you're removing the top of the cheese. Then you take about a teaspoon of garlic, about a teaspoon of white wine. I'm gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. Yeah, this is all gooey and delicious as you can see. At this point, I like to slice a little bit of apple with it. Give it a beautiful stir with your salami. Oh my God. You're tasting amazing pork and you get this warm, melty cheese that has the slightest note of spruce and a piney flavor to it. The moldiness and the funkiness of this cheese really goes so amazing with this. It's a pairing of just true, unique flavors that you would only get in live active products. Anduya is spreadable because as you make it, you take the trim parts of a pig, belly meat, shoulder, and then you add up to 60% fat to this product. So after it ferments and dries and it's hardened, there's so much fat in this that it still stays spreadable. When you say Anduya, the origins of it are Spanish. The casing from this is not edible. Just cut off the chunk that you're going to use, and then you can place this back in your refrigerator. Slice the casing down the long way, and then go ahead and remove the entire casing. Anduya has a million different ways to use it. You can throw it into a pan and do mussels. It melts really well. You can bake it onto flatbreads, but it's also just unbelievable by itself spread on bread. Grab a little bit of butter. We're doing the darn thing. Grab a little bit of your Anduya, spread it across. Oh my gosh. Or it's seasoned with spice and has an amazing pork flavor to it. And it is fermented, so it has a little bit of tang on the outside of it. It would be essentially a chorizo butter. It's unbelievable. Rosette de Oregon. This is the salami that I produce that I am the most proud of. This salami kind of represents everything that I've been trying to do in the meat industry since I've started. All of the pork that I use in this is from a network of farmers that have every one of their pigs out on pasture. That's the model that's actually gonna be sustainable for us to carry on making pork the right way in America. I like to cut it on a bias, take off the tip. See, it has this really dark color from it. Part of that is the wine, but part of it is also that these pigs spend their entire life out in the field moving around. It gives it a higher muscle density and changes the color of the meat as well. This blue cheese from Rogue River down south, it's 100% organic. The salami, place a little blue cheese on the cracker. Blue cheese and hazelnut, heaven. The first thing you notice about this salami is the mouthfeel. It's very slightly subtled with juniper and rosemary. This blue cheese has like a bright pop of mold and crazy flavors. Hazelnuts are one of my favorite nuts to eat with fatty salamis and cheese because the tannins kind of clean your palate and allow you to eat more.